would never do this manually ever again. There's no going back.
What could take days and weeks to ideate, create, edit, approve can be done within a matter of minutes.
If you're not doing this today, you should probably start today. Get on it. Marquis, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Aiden. I'm happy to be here. Huge fan of the podcast. So nice to be on the other side this time.
Very cool to do this. And of course, I've been following a lot of your stuff as well. Love what you're doing on YouTube. So it's nice to have another YouTuber on. This is pretty cool. How long, by the way, like before we get into it, how long have you been producing content and had your own YouTube channel?
Since 2021, officially, yeah, it was just coming out of like the lockdowns, and I thought doesn't seem like we're going anywhere for a little bit, and so I decided to just invest in some gear, some lights, and start documenting what I was learning in Asana. Decided to put it all on YouTube, and the rest is history.
It looks super cool. And you were just describing your background for me. Some people still listen to this podcast, which is interesting to me. You need to get on YouTube, everyone. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you do, you get to see this beautiful background that Marquis has. What are those amazing painting looking things?
These are my pride and joy. If you're watching, you'll see that they're a bit blurry, but I am both an F1 fan and a Lego fanatic. And so I've got three 1/8 models behind me of Lego. One is the Mercedes car, in the middle is the best one, the McLaren. And then on the other side of that is the Red Bull. So they're all lined up and framed in these like IKEA frames with like their designs on them. So that's what you get to see if you ever tune into YouTube or if you're watching the podcast.
This is super cool. So, before we dive in, we have a lot of very cool things to see today. We're going to see a lot of agents in action. And this isn't just hocus pocus. This is stuff that people are actually doing in their companies, making their companies more productive using AI agents. So, we're going to get to that. But before we do, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your background? Like, what do you do? Why do you know about this stuff?
Backstory, I came from the corporate world, left my job in 2015 when my twin boys were born. And so I stayed home to be with them, be with my wife. And I was freelancing at the time doing marketing, various gigs for different operations, and then joined a marketing agency, worked with them for about a year and decided or thought to myself, I can do this on my own. I can run a business, I can hire contractors, I can deliver this kind of stuff. And so I really cut my teeth during that time. This is about 2017, 2018. And that brought me all the way to COVID. And I was using tools like Asana and HubSpot to run my business, organize my work. For select customers, we were implementing Asana and HubSpot because they also needed a way to organize their work, their leads, do their marketing. And then 2020 happened. And all of these companies that were in offices and were used to working off the side of their desk and having impromptu meetings were now remote and displaced for the first time. And so there was an opportunity for me to support a lot of companies that were going from brick and mortar to now being remote for the first time. So this really started with me helping people set up project management tools, setting up a CRM, teaching them how to use tools like Zoom and Slack. Can you imagine a world where people don't know how to use Zoom and Slack? So like that's how it really started, was just helping them like get these digital tools set up. Again, like going into 2021, I was using Asana and realized people don't know how to use this stuff. And I wanted to learn how to use it better. So I just started diving really deep into the tool, uncovering different use cases, applying it to my business, and then started putting content online. So that's probably the shortest version I can give you as to like how we got here today.
And so in general though, if someone wants to get more productive, their company's like hitting some sort of wall, they want to get more productive, they want to use AI tools, whether it be Asana or other things in your toolkit, like you basically help companies get more productive and now more and more using AI.
That's exactly it. Yeah, we help them get the most out of their productivity tools. So Asana is one, but if you're using HubSpot or Salesforce or Jira, we can integrate those tools. We can improve your workflows. We can automate. We can, release agents and help your work to be more efficient and really just help your teams work better together, whatever that tool stack looks like.
Love it. Okay. So everybody has a contact. So, I wanted to put that there because you're already doing this with a bunch of companies, making them more productive using AI and agents. And so, where are we going to start today from a demo perspective? What are we seeing first?
I want to show you three things. Obviously, Asana is like the core of my business. I live, eat, sleep, and breathe Asana. But as far as LLMs go, I've been doing a lot of work with ChatGPT. I don't use OpenAI's models really much anymore, unless it's in Asana. I use Claude quite a bit, and then Perplexity. So I'm going to show you how I've used Claude to um, start tapping into like MCP. I've tied it into Asana in this case. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to kind of be brainstorming in Claude like you would. You're talking to the LLM and then build a project in Asana. I'm going to show you how we can take information from Asana, summarize it inside of Claude in a PDF format to share it around. And then I'm going to show you something in Asana called, it's their version of AI Studio, which is essentially building agents that are teammates. So you give it a role within your organization, it does a specific job, and then it can act as like a project manager or a triage agent or basically do whatever it is you tell it to do. So I've got a few of those and I can start with Claude if you want.
Let's do that. Yeah, as you're pulling this up, I'm starting to see this trend of people using central AIs. In this case, we're going to start with Claude, and that becomes their interface to the world. So they browse the internet less, they log into other tools less, and I mean, there's still reason to go to all those other places, but for some of the but for more and more use cases, a lot is happening through their central AI that's talking using MCP to these other tools. And so, yeah, so this is what we're going to start seeing, and then we're going to go into Asana and the tool, and then figure out what you could do more deeply. For those who don't know the word MCP, it stands for Model Context Protocol, but think of it as just a language where, an LLM can talk to other tools. In this case, Asana.
That's it. So like what I love about Claude is when we go in as far as like options for connectors, I've got like my Gmail connected, my calendar, Google Drive, HubSpot, Canva, like all the different tools that we use. I created an agent in here where like I'll go into the project in the morning. I can say good morning and it pulls up my latest emails, my calendar, what my day looks like, and it can kind of help me like even get started on my day, right? So like I love what MCP is like allowing us to do now. But in this case, like with the Asana connector, it allows you to go into Asana, you can get attachments, you can get goals, you can create projects, portfolios, you can pull information out of it, you can update tasks, update custom fields. And so I'm going to show you an example. And for context, I've created a project inside of Claude. I've given it some instructions because this is something that I would do over and over again. And rather than starting off like an ad hoc chat every single time, I love going in. I love giving it instructions. I love giving it files so that it understands like what it is that I'm looking to do every single time. So there's some consistency. And so in this case, I've got it ready for you. But basically, I'm running a customer appreciation event. I need your help organizing all the tasks me and my marketing team need to complete to prepare for the event. Build the project inside my Surface workspace, inside of the Surface demo space team. And so this is a conversation where you'd likely have some brainstorming, some back and forth. Hey, I'm building a project or we're running an event. Help me plan it. We need this. I've got to contact this vendor. And you have all this information. But then at the end, what do you do with it? How do you action it? How do you get it in front of the people on your team that would then help you take action and actually complete it? So I've gone in. We've already got our Asana connectors selected. I'm going to go
And
and just
and
run
Marquis,
this.
for the so when you connected Asana, I know that there was, those, I guess, sub projects and things.
Yeah.
What did you end up selecting for that? Like, what do you like? You just select everything? Is that the way to do it?
That's exactly. I've selected everything for now because what will happen is depending on what you ask it to do, it'll ask you for permission, right? Okay, so you've asked me to do this, which requires me in this case to find a user. Do I have
Hmm.
permission to go access your user base? And then you have to select yes, allow once or allow always, right? So every time it runs, it's pulling and
Oh,
asking permission.
interesting. It does ask if you wanted to do it always. Very interesting. Yeah,
It
because I
does.
noticed it even. I mean, it has a lot of powers. It says it can delete tasks. I mean, that sounds serious.
It's a
You
lot.
really have to trust something to give it delete tasks.
You do exactly, and it's not a permanent delete either. You can go back into Asana, you can run a report to see what tasks were deleted, and then you can restore them. But yes, you can delete tasks. What's nice about this is like a user like me, we have access to lots of user accounts, lots of different workspaces, and so I've specified here it's inside of the Surface workspace.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it'll take forever and a day looking through all the workspaces my email's been given access to try and find where this team is that I'm actually going to build this project in. So I've just taken that extra step to just kind of point it in the right direction. Let's go and run this here. Claude's going to do its thinking. And then we just kind of want to follow along. So it's saying, I'll help you create a comprehensive customer appreciation event project in your Surface workspace. Let me start by setting up the project structure and build it. So the first thing it's doing, it's got the little Asana logo. It's searching all my workspaces. It's confirming that it's got access to the right one. So in a second, it's going to say, "Great, found it. Awesome." So now it's saying, "Now let me find the Surface demo space team within your Surface workspace." Perfect. I found it. Now I'll create a comprehensive customer appreciation event project with all the tasks your marketing team needs. Let me create the project first. So it's just created the project, which in this case is just the shell. I'm actually going to go over to Asana for a second and we're going to find it inside of my customer demo space team. There it is. So it's already created the project. And right now it's blank, but you're going to see it start populating the tasks as it's thinking about all the different events and all the different things that need to be completed in order for this event to be a success. So let's go back over to Claude. Let me search for available custom fields. So there are fields that have been selected where like things like task status can be added and you can, specify and organize your tasks and group them. I will say, and it's kind of frustrating that like it doesn't actually have access to create custom fields yet. That's not an option in Claude. It can update custom fields, but even with like MCP, like it doesn't know that until the very end. So like you'll get a project where it says it's creating custom fields, but it's actually not. But in any case, it will start creating our tasks. So here we go. It's identified that we'll need a priority. So it's given us a P0 to P5, and it's given us a custom field of team function. So it's actually pulled in the custom fields it's found, but I actually have to go in there and add them myself. So it started creating our tasks. And there we go. It's pulled up for us a 7-stage project, and it's going to start adding the tasks in between all of these. So another thing it can't do yet is create actual sections. And so what I would do is add a section, and then you can organize all your tasks within that. And so this is kind of stage one, and it's going to take its time and it's going to run through everything. So I'll give you an example of what this would look like when it's all finished here.
Oh, wow. That's super comprehensive.
Yeah, so it's got everything. It's got our different phases. It's even assigned it to me. It's given it dates as well that we can obviously update.
This is cool. Like, I mean, again, just reading one of these, some of the tasks I created for you: develop social media, content calendar, and promotional materials, process vendor payments, and reconcile event budget. I guess when you started talking about this, you said that it's not that you go to Claude and you say, "Hey, go build the project in Asana for me," without any context. You did upload some files, right? And so you did give it some source material. I think you and I had a call before you fed the transcript into it so it could kind of understand that. But in theory, if you were working with a customer, you could grab the call transcript, you could grab like the project documents, you can maybe record a voice memo of you describing, the project a little bit more. And then, rather than going around in the interface and clicking around, 100 times, typing a whole bunch of stuff, let Claude do the work for you.
Exactly. And that's why I like the projects. Like I could have taken that same prompt, like I'm running a customer appreciation. I could have started a brand new chat and given it to it with no context, and it would have gotten us there. Okay. The reason why I like projects is because I do this all the time. If I have a customer that I need to do a demo for, and let's say they're in the financial industry, right? So I would have had a prep call with them where they go over their requirements. I know exactly what it is that they want to do, how they want to use Asana, what some of the functions are of their team members, what sectors they work in, all of that kind of thing. I take that transcript from Fellow, I put it into the project here as context, and then I say, hey, I need to build out 3 projects with the portfolio structure that looks like this. I need you to name all of the projects, give me the tasks, suggest the custom fields, and then I need you to build me a form as well. Give me the form questions. And so I do all of that inside of Claude. And by the time I'm done, it's given me my projects already. So I don't have to like spend time creating all this dummy information. I can show up with the relevant demonstration for the customer. So, I mean, obviously, like
I
something.
love that as a use case. It's so good. Like the ability to create dummy information, just get Claude to do it for you, get your AI to do it for you. Oh, that's actually so good. What a waste of time to do it yourself.
No kidding, right? And that's what I was doing for so long. I mean, for my YouTube channel, how many demo projects have I built where I'm like, I'm going to show you how to do this, right? Or show you what I've done. Now I can just be like, spit it out, Claude. And then I go in and I can spend more time on the subtleties of the project and how to build things versus typing out every single task name. So yeah, I love it.
Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying the episode. One of the common things that we hear is, hey, you all talk about all these different tools, you walk through these demos. Sometimes it's hard for me to follow along. What we decided to do recently was take all the things that we talk about, put them in a weekly newsletter. We literally list all the tools, we link to them, and any demo that we walk through, we break it down step by step, put it in this newsletter so it's super easy for you to follow along. And the other nice thing is that if there's someone on your team that you think could benefit, they're working on that subject area, they could use a little bit of AI injection into their workflow, send them the newsletter, send them that particular episode. We make it super easy to do that. It's free to sign up. All you have to do is go to thisnewway.com, enter your email address, and you'll get this weekly email from us. Hope you enjoy it. With that said, let's go back to the episode. Okay, so this I have to ask you. Okay, so Claude can do this, but I assume that Asana also has their own AI that you could probably talk to and it could create the project too, right?
That is correct. Yes. And you can actually, I can show it as well. You would speak to it. It does go the extra step. It does give you those custom fields. So it's actually really smart in that regard. Why I like starting in Claude sometimes is I'm a visionary. I have an idea. I'm creating this course right now. So I'm talking with Claude and I'm like, hey, we have all of this context in this project about the course, the format, everything. Now it's like, okay, let's build out the projects so that I can start recording content and writing content. And so I can go from the idea, have everything in line, and then have it shoot over to Asana as well. But yeah, Asana, the platform itself, is also fantastic for.
Yeah, so Asana is going to be better at it's going to be better at all things Asana for sure. And like you said, so it's more that Claude in this case is your planning tool, just taking an idea to what is it that I'm going to do, and then it connects to your email and your calendar and HubSpot and Salesforce and like all these other things. So it just like makes it a good starting place to construct, just turn your idea into something like a plan, and then you go and you execute within the relevant AI. Now that you've seen this, I mean, there's no going back, right? You would never do this manually ever again.
Of course not. Of course not. And I don't. And I mean, I'm showing you with the Asana connector, but I could give it access. I could give the same chat access to my Google Drive and our HubSpot and say, these are the customers on this list that we want to invite. So, like, make sure that those people, those names and those contacts also get added to these tasks. Right. So,
Oh,
that's
that's
take
so smart.
that's taking it a step further and like thinking, how can we more like better utilize Claude and push that information over? Right.
Yeah, to a customer, they're going to look at this and they're going to say, "Oh my God, you created all this dummy data just for us, and it has our names in it, and it
Exactly.
sounds like exactly you are so diligent," which is great, and you are because you did. The result is there, but
Yeah.
yeah, pretty mind blowing stuff. If you're not doing this today, you should probably start today. You should
Get on
start
it.
get on it. Yeah.
Get on it. I agree. I'll show you the other way around now. Now, like this is what the project would look like. So if I did type this into Asana, it would definitely give me the section headers automatically. It would give me the tasks under those section headers, and it would give me the custom fields. So I basically took what Claude spit out. I created these sections here. I moved the tasks like into those sections. Like you can move them around and organize them. I added the custom fields that it recommended for me, right? And then what I'm going to do now is show you how we can take information from Asana and send it back to Claude. because the use case for this is we actually work with a lot of teams where their senior leadership team or their VPs, like they don't want to go in Asana. They don't want to drill down into this. You can do a status update in an Asana project. You can do a status update in a portfolio of work, but this is for the person that's like, no, I don't even want to go into Asana. Like, just give me a report of what's going on. And so in this case, I found out about this functionality when I was doing another demo. So the prospect sent me all their requirements and their questions ahead of time. And I went into Asana and I created the project. And I said, here are the questions that they have answered, that they want answered. Sorry. I went in and I put in some notes inside of the description so that as I'm doing the demo, I can screen share my Asana, show them how we use Asana, and then kind of check them off as we go. So then at the end of the call, they said to me, can you actually share the questions and answers? We didn't get to all of them. And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll share the answers with you after the call. But then I thought, how am I going to do that? Am I going to share the project with them? I can't export directly from Asana. Like I can send it to a CSV maybe, but I would have had to have like copy and pasted every single question, every single answer, put it in a Google Doc. So in this case, I went into, and I'll just copy and paste this one just to get us there a bit faster. But I basically said, I've got this project inside of Asana. I need your help getting the information outside of Asana. So let's pull up our projects. So in this case, I'm going to move the information out of Asana into Claude. So I'm going to say here, I have a project in Asana. I'm going to insert the link here to that project. Okay, that I've started working on. Please review the progress of the project. And in this chat, create a summary of the project's hopeful outcomes and present a status update so I can share with our SLT. And so this is outside of the project, but it should yield the same results. So here we go. It says, I'll help you review your Asana project progress, create a summary of the status update for your SLT. So it's getting the project right now. It's searching that link. It's found it. Now let me get the task statistics and create and current tasks to understand the project's progress. So now it's getting the task count. Let me get the tasks in the project. So now it's pulling all of those tasks out. And so, again, for context, this is a project where there are certain fields that are updated. Some tasks are done, some are in progress, to do, approved. Some of them are fully completed as well. And so this is going through absolutely everything. Here we go. So now it's got for me project summary, hopeful outcomes. Customer appreciation event is a strategic initiative designed to strengthen relationships with our key customers while showcasing your company's achievements, key hopeful outcomes. So it's given me enhanced customer loyalty, revenue growth, right? And then it's actually gone in and said completed achievements in phase one, which is this first section, strategic planning and foundation. Customer segmentation has been completed. Event objectives and success metrics have been completed. And it shows the other completed tasks. And then it shows additional key metrics.
I mean, this is incredible, right? If someone wants just a general, like, how's the project going? And you want to create an email and send it to them. I mean, this is the best way to do it. This is amazing.
Exactly. And I actually have one that I did earlier inside the project. So again, that's why I love context. Like that one was, it gave me the update, but here's what I'm actually going to send to my SLT now. So this is my customer appreciation event. It's got my report. It says that we're on track. We're 16% of the way there. 5 of my 32 tasks are completed. It's even created in this artifact a little progress bar for me. It shows me how many tasks are remaining, how many milestones still need to be achieved. And then it's listed out my strategic objectives and all the different phases of the project as well.
Yeah.
So,
Marquis, I see something like this and immediately I think there is no excuse to not have super great project status updates. It doesn't matter. Like
yeah,
I don't have time is not an excuse.
yeah, it's all
And not
here.
only should everybody have it, but it should look as amazing as this. This is the new minimum bar.
This is it. This is it. And now I can download it as a PDF, this comprehensive report, and send it across to anyone who needs to see it, who, for whatever reason, doesn't want to be inside of Asana, right? It's got tables for you, it's got the priorities, everything is here ready to go. So powerful. And I honestly feel like we're just scratching the surface of like what's really possible with these tools.
I love it. So, okay, so this is super exciting. This is Claude and Asana talking to each other. Everybody should make this connector. Like if you're using Claude, connect it to Asana. I'd love now to talk about AI agents. And I think Asana calls them teammates, right? You're creating these virtual teammates who work as part of your team and do things for you. Yeah, how does that work? What are some teammates that you think people should create?
I'll show you one thing here quickly. Earlier, you asked about like, what does this look like if Asana does it, right? So I can go in, set up a blank project. I'll call it test, and I can click the button set up with AI. I can give it some context. I can give it a CSV, a PDF, and then I can say, we are planning a customer, appreciation event, blah, blah, blah. And then it'll do the same thing, right? But
Mhm.
we obviously understand the use case for why we want to start inside of Claude. But as far as agents go, I've got a dummy project up here called Marketing Campaign Intake. So this is a marketing team. Their job is to basically plan out and execute all the different campaigns, events for a company for the entire year. It can be live, can be virtual, whatever it is. So when we go into the agent builder, Asana calls them rules. So there are rules that you can build without AI that are just based on if this, then that kind of trigger and actions. And then you can create with AI Studio. So the different use cases here are numerous. You can literally do anything. If you can think it, we can do it. But some of the things to kind of get you started are when a task is submitted into a project or added to a project, automatically rename that task. If you have a naming convention you want to follow and you give it, some parameters, it can rename that task. You can translate work as well. We work with globalization teams who have to take a specific piece of content, translate it to different languages. They're using a lot of contractors for that. The approval process is cumbersome. And so the agent can do stuff like that. When a submission, this is the triage agent here. So when a submission is sent in, hey, we need assets for this digital campaign. We're launching a new brand. Oftentimes there's missing information. There's not enough context when the submitter submits the form. And we spend our time having to go and search that person down to fill in the blanks, to get that missing information. And that can often, obviously adds to, unnecessary
That
meetings,
that one just that's so cool. So if I mean all of these things, what I'm hearing is that it's just gonna autocorrect all the mistakes that humans might make. So oh, you're missing information? Great. Like Asana will go get it for you. It will, ping the right people and make sure that that information is there. And I think this is one of the problems, right? Traditionally, at least in CRMs, one of the biggest problems is well, you've got to keep it up to date. You've got to have the hygiene. And no matter how much training and how much you coach people, it's always ugly CRMs, right? And so Asana seems to be like self healing, like, it just corrects itself.
I love that. Self-healing, yes. Yeah, if you're checking for missing information or checking for duplicate entries, a lot of times we have like project codes we have to like create or like align with. And so, yeah, it can do all those things. And the reason why they call it a teammate is because it's going to support every individual in the organization. Rather than replacing roles, we're giving an assistant to every single person that is working in the org. And so these are some of the use cases here, but again, you can do anything. I'll click into the builder for a second before I actually show you what I want to today. But you can basically say when this happens. So in this case, like when a task moves into a section, we can say when the section is intake, we want it to do this. And so you would fill this with whatever you want it to do. So you want it to change the deliverable to something, right? And you could say use AI. You could go in and you could say, set the task title. What do we want the task title to be? Use AI. I haven't given it any information or any prompting yet, but we're saying, and you set the description, use AI. So then you can go in, you give it your prompt, right? So your job is to, when tasks come in, review them for completion, change the task title to something more fitting, and update the description to be more robust, right? It could be something like that. You could say, reference this other project, which we use as a database to see if this idea or this component for this build already exists. See if we have it in the inventory. You can do whatever you want. with this agent. You can give it access to the internet. You can give it attachments as well, so it can reference policies, procedures, and then you can even go in and reconfigure it to tell it which model you want it to use. Because obviously, like with any AI software today, it's based on credit consumption, and so you want to make sure that for the output, you're selecting a model that's appropriate in this case. And if all of this like prompting and like building is too much for you and you're like, I don't even know where to start, there's an easy create with AI option where you can just speak to it in normal language and just say, I want you to do this. And it writes the prompt and it fills in all the custom fields for you. And so it's really easy to like make this work
Yeah,
for
it
you.
feels like the easy button. It turns out that the best person to prompt an LLM is an LLM. So, yeah, I love that they built that option.
So I'm gonna submit a form here, and we're gonna go through just like what this would look like when the triage comes in. It's gonna have a task to do. The first thing it's gonna have to do is rename this submission to be something that's aligned with our way of working, our brand guidelines, and then it's actually going to create two things. It's going to create a blog. Well, first it's going to create a brief for us, and then it's going to create a blog and an email for us. And we're going to bring a human into the loop to approve that blog and email before it actually goes out live. And so I've got this intake form. There you go. So the name should actually be the title in this case. So we need a campaign for a global product launch, and we need assets, and then we're going to submit it here. So then when it comes in, we can see that it's been assigned to Brandon. In this case, he is the person who'd be responsible for this delivery. So blog, email blast, social media post. And its first job is going to be to rename the task. So I've given it something pretty generic. And in this case, it's saying it can't run. So let's go take a look. I cannot create the requested title because the task doesn't include timing information. All right, so I missed out on timing information. We need assets for the 2025 launch in this case.
Hey everyone, just a quick pause on today's episode to tell you about my day job. In addition to This New Way, I'm the CEO of a company called Fellow.ai, and Fellow is an AI meeting assistant. It joins all your meetings, it summarizes them, tracks the action items and the decision, and does that better than any other tool that you've seen. We've spent a ton of time making sure that the meeting notes and summaries and action items that come out of Fellow are the most accurate, the most precise. It beats any human. You have to try it. But in addition to that, what makes Fellow different is that it is the first AI note taker built from the ground up with security and privacy in mind. This means that you can use it for all your meetings, not just the customer-facing ones, but also the sensitive ones, things like one-on-ones and executive team meetings and those QBRs and everything in between. It's got really good judgment. So, for example, if you start a meeting and you're talking about some social stuff that you don't really want on the record that's going to get emailed to everyone afterwards, Fellow just knows. It just doesn't include those things. Or say you have something that you talked about and later on you realize, oh man, that shouldn't have been there. Makes it really easy. You can go back to the meeting, select that part, delete it, and then it's gone from the record. It connects to all of the other tools you use in the organization, whether that's Slack or Asana or HubSpot or Salesforce or Linear or Jira or Confluence, whatever it is, Fellow integrates with all those things. I think the best part is that Fellow also acts as an AI chief of staff. Because it sits on all the meetings and the conversations that you have access to, you can ask it really cool questions such as, what are the biggest opportunities in my company? What are the bottlenecks in engineering? And Fellow just pieces together information, sees trends, and it can answer those sorts of questions. It can even do things like, hey, based on all of the one-on-ones that I've had with this particular person, can you create them a performance review? And it can do things like that too. And the sky's really the limit. What I really wanted you to do is have the opportunity to try out Fellow, check it out, and we're making a special offer available to all our listeners. So just go to fellow.ai/thisnewway to try Fellow. There's a discount code in there for you if you decide to continue with it. Either way, I would love for you to try it and let me know what you think. And with that said, let's go back to the episode. So it's the AI. So you basically had the AI running, in the background. That's the one that kind of figured out if all the information was there or not, and it actually responded back and said, "Oh, I can't do what you wanted me to do because there's incomplete information."
Exactly. So when I'm done this, I'll show you how it was built in the back end and we've given it these parameters. So this is an incomplete submission in this case. So then the person who submitted it has to go back and actually resubmit. So
Yeah, I was gonna say even this is super interesting because someone may you may go submit something to the marketing team. And if you do that, traditionally, maybe a day would pass, 2 days would pass, who knows? Maybe sometimes a week might pass. And then all that would happen is the marketing team would say, "Oh, we can't actually do this because we're missing this information." And it took a week for that to be surfaced. But now with AI, it can be surfaced immediately.
it's changed the task title from the generic summary or generic title that I gave it to global product launch, blog, email, social media, early 2026. So this is the request that came in, right? There it is. And for the reasoning, it said from the task description, I can see that this is a global product launch with deliverables of blog, email blast, social media post for early 2026. So that's why I made this decision in this case. So we can kind of follow along with how it's thinking. Now we're going to move it to the next stage. So it lands a new request. Obviously, all this can be automated, but I'm going to move it to brief creation because now we have this submission. We have to start actioning it and we need to figure out who we need to bring on to make all of this work actually happen. So we moved it to the brief creation stage. I've selected that custom field. And now there's another agent that is working behind the scenes to create a brief. And so in this case, what's going to happen, it's going to update the task description here with that brief so that everyone can kind of come around it and can make updates and comment on said brief. I'm going to give it a quick refresh here. There we go. So in our description, it's now been updated. Campaign title has been updated for us here. We've got our campaign lead. We've got an overview of the campaign. And we've got all the information for our team to kind of gather around and then fill in blanks. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to move it to draft creation. This is going to create drafts of both the emails and the blogs that I asked it for earlier.
Yeah, and that's super cool. Like it's just gonna have the AI create the emails and the drafts so that you don't have to. I mean, previously a human would have to do this, right? So it'd go into the project, it would be assigned to someone, and then their job would be to create the drafts of the emails. And so now this can just be part of the process.
That's exactly it. And so right now it's reviewing the context, which I'm going to show you right after this. Actually, let's go take a look. So two rules have been reviewed, showing the details. So blog draft creation is in review right now. We can show the reasoning. So it's looking at the tasks, it's looking at the documents that it has, it's looking at the KPIs, the formatting, and it's now building out that blog. And it's also doing the same for email. So in a second, we're going to get a few subtasks that are automatically added here and assigned to someone to review and approve so that we can get this work underway and get everything launched.
What I love about this is for things that require a human in the loop. So we all know that you can use AI to create blog content. So this is a thing that is known, and everybody's doing it now. So what's cool about this is that Asana can make that happen, go write the blog post, write the email for you, and then it's going to put it in front of a human, and then you have the human in the loop, and then once they're okay with it, then it can go to the next step and maybe go to the next person or agent that is going to, post it live. So it very eloquently figures out what should be done by AI and then what things should be done by human. And it's a happy working of human and AI to accomplish whatever task.
Whatever you need it to do. Exactly. And so, like, while you were talking there, it automatically created four subtasks. So, the first one here, it's assigned to someone to review the AI generated email blast. So, let's go in. We can take a look at that. So, we've got a subject line, right, for this new email. We've got a header that it's given us. Already, we've got the body copy. You scroll, and it's built that email out for us. So, we've even got a CTA, right? To get early access, we can hyperlink our landing pages there. So now the human can go and say, I approve this, or they can request changes on it, or they can reject it, and then we start over. So Once we approve it, I'm actually going to go back out to our subtask so you can see what happens. This task is dependent on, sorry, the email going live, I should say, is dependent on the approval and review of that email. So now it's unblocked the ability for this email to go live. Then we have another subtask for the blog post itself. And so it's got our title of the blog post, it's got our content here in the body, it's got our different sections, and it's pretty comprehensive. This is probably a 1,500 word, blog, maybe 1,000 word blog here, right? Someone can go in, make changes to, they can then approve that, and then that unblocks the dependent task now for the blog to go live, right? And so what in content creation land could take days and weeks to ideate, create, edit, approve, reapprove can be done within a matter of minutes. And again, having a human in the loop.
This is incredible. This is one of the biggest problems, which is if you have AI generate a lot of things, then how are you going to make sure that the quality is there? And yes, you can have other agents review it, and that's a cool thing to do too. But I just love it just brings together what humans are good at and what AI is good at right now, and it just meshes them together. And the other nice thing is just not waiting on anyone. If you submit something end of day, your time. It doesn't matter. When you come back the next day, all the tasks that the AI is going to be doing, I mean, it was done instantly. So when you wake up in the morning, you're not waiting for anyone. If there are errors, you know right away. It really changes the game. It makes all of these tools. I mean, Asana was always great and always useful, but I think like this. I mean, this changes the game. It's, in my opinion, it's like 10x more useful because now you get some AI teammates out of it too.
That's it. Can I show you one more just around like the intake and triage?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So I've got a creative request here, and this is where it's really gonna like check for that missing information. And so behind the scenes, what's kind of going on is when a task is submitted, we want it to check for that missing information. So we said you're triaging incoming tasks to see if we have sufficient information. Tasks with sufficient information will be to be triaged, should have a clear description, a due date or relevant time frame, whether the task depends on other work. When it comes in, I want you to write a comment, right, for what the missing information is. And then I want you to create subtasks. And in the description, assign it to the person who submitted it and say, hey, this is what's missing. This is what we need you to do. In this case, I've given it access to the internet. So if it needs to pull in information and gather anything, we can do that. And then we can also attach specific guidelines as well to it. So again, if we had a brand guidelines we needed it to follow, we could obviously do that. So let's go in and we're gonna submit this form now. So the request type is going to be for video, summary of the request. We're running an event next year and need video to promote it. This will be a global event. So we need to then translate to multiple languages, right? We could give it an attachment if we wanted to. I'm not going to in this case. Anything else we need? We need it quickly, which
I
everyone
love
needs it
it. So
quickly.
clearly, I mean, that wasn't the most descriptive thing in the world,
It
right? But that's
wasn't.
what happens in real life. That's what people do.
That's exactly it, and I kept it vague on purpose, right? So we've got this task that comes in. It's automatic. It's already renamed it, and so in the reasoning here, right, it said, "Hey, this kind of task, I think it should be called create promotional video for global event." That was his first kind of task. Now what it's doing is it's looking for that missing information. And so that's the next thing it's doing. So it's going to give us kind of reasoning here. It's going to add a comment and then it's going to create a subtask. So checking for missing information. Let's see what it says. This task lacks sufficient information for the comprehensive video production request. While it mentions a global event and need for video production, it is missing critical details such as specific event details, target audience, desired video length, so much information. And you could argue you can add that information to the form, but still, we're going to be chasing people down to get that specific information. And so now, let me give it a quick refresh. It's going to pop up our comment here and it's going to give us our subtask as well. And just in case it doesn't, here's an example of just what that would have looked like. It does take a little bit to run. It can take a minute, but I'm not going to bore you here, Aiden. So, hey, Marquis, I noticed while we're excited about creating a video for the new product launch, we need a bit more information. So give me that comment
I love that, Marquis. So does that get emailed to the person that submitted it?
if you wanted to.
Okay. I mean, that's amazing. So you submit a request and then you get this beautiful email that is nicely formatted. It's like beautiful narrative, right? It's not like missing fields. It's, I noticed you submitted this thing and it's missing some fields. Yeah, this is incredible.
Exactly. And then here's the subtask it created for me today to clarify promotional video requirements. It just popped up. So, to ensure we create an effective promotional video, what are your specific languages you need in the video translated? Can you describe the target audience? So, it's thinking about all of these things that are now missing, and it's bringing that person back into the conversation and saying, "Hey, you missed a few steps here." Right? Like, get this done. And so, yeah, the power of these agents and teammates is just like untethered at this point. Like, there's so much that we can do, and I think we're just like barely understanding the capabilities of what's
Yeah.
possible.
I love this. Yeah, thank you for sharing this to us. This is pretty cool. And it's not hard to do either, right? Because you had almost what I call the easy mode where you can just describe in natural language and then Asana will go in and create the flows for you and then you can edit it from there. So, you should get started, play around with some stuff. I mean, people should also subscribe to your channel as well. You go through more cool things, more tutorials. So yeah, how can people find you if they want to learn more?
If you want to see this in action and see me go really deep, you can just search Marquis Murray on YouTube or just Asana tutorials. My face will be there. I post videos every single week. So yeah, I'd love to have you come by and subscribe.
Awesome. So if someone searches for Asana tutorials, you're number one
I
that comes
am
up. Oh, that's super cool.
On
I didn't
Google
actually
and
know
on
that.
YouTube.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
actually pretty awesome. Very cool.
nice. Yeah.
So okay, my favorite question we're about to end here is what are you most excited about over the next 12 months with all this AI development and things that are happening? Is there something that is not quite possible, but if it was possible, it would be game changing, something that you're looking forward to?
That's a great question. I would have to say, like, I tried doing this when I created my Good Morning, Claude, project where it summarizes my day. I would love it if in the future, right? And I think Google's close to doing this with their like agent space. We're testing it right now, but wake up in the morning, go into my Gemini or my Claude, whatever it is, and it knows what my day is like. It knows what emails I have in my inbox. It knows what's going on in Asana. It knows what tasks I need to do. It knows what tasks other people can do for me. And it just like restructures my day, right? Marquis, you don't need to be on that call, right? Someone else can join that call for you, or those tasks that you need to complete, someone else can do that. We actually have an SOP in Asana for how you can do that task. I'm going to assign that to somebody else. So I'd love it as a founder, just like wake up every day, just say like, "Hey Siri, good morning," or something, or "Hey Gemini, good morning." And it's like, "Morning, Marquis. Here's your day. Here are the decisions I made for you, and here's what your day will actually look like." I think that that's the future that I'm looking forward to, where just everything kind of happens and I can get on with the things that I enjoy and just live in my zone of genius.
I love it. And you know what? We're probably not that far away. Like this will probably, I mean, maybe this year, maybe early next year. It's not far. And, phone conversation too, right? On your drive back from the gym or something, rather than having unproductive time, you're having this conversation. I think it'd be pretty awesome.
Exactly. Let's make it happen.
All right. Well, Marquis, thanks so much for doing this. This was really fun.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Aiden.
And that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of This New Way. If you like the content, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe so you can get notified when we post the next episode. See you next time.